The Sacramento Kings have looked nothing like their usual selves, and it's starting to get really scary. But there are 3 reasons as to why I think the Kings have been playing so terrible, and I'm not going to waste your time because we need to get right into this. Starting with the take that I don't think many people are really taking into consideration or thinking about, with that being De'Aaron Fox's performances as of recently. For example, De'Aaron Fox in the month of December was averaging 29, let's just call it 30 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, which obviously helped push the Kings to perform and put up a 9-5 record in that month. Now, before I show you his performances from January, I just want to say I feel like this might be my fault. On January 1st, I uploaded this video where I talked about how De'Aaron Fox should get a bunch of respect and that he should be in MVP conversations. But do you want to know how Fox has been performing since I uploaded this video? He's been averaging 22 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. I just can't help but feel like there has to be a reason as to why we have seen such a huge drop off for De'Aaron Fox. I don't know if it's injuries, something off the court, if there's something else happening, I don't know. But there's a little bit more to De'Aaron Fox other than his performances that make me think there is something else really wrong here. Now, before I say this, don't get me wrong, I think that this also applies to someone like Domantas Sabonis being another great player on the team, but it seems like both of these players, Sabonis and Fox, don't really have much of a leadership role for this team. Throughout this entire 4-game losing streak and also any other real hard losses that this team has taken, we hear these same things from these guys. With that being, hey, it was a tough loss today, but it's okay. We'll forget about it tomorrow and we'll get right back into the groove of things. I know that you might think I'm overreacting by saying this, but I don't want you to forget these losses. I don't want you to forget a 33-point loss against the New Orleans Pelicans. You want to know why? Because it's going to keep on fucking happening. Or the loss to the Charlotte Hornets. Like, do we really want to just forget about this? Do we want to just go, oh, we'll just push forward to next day? Because ain't shit changing right now. With that being said, I want everyone to know that this little segment here about De'Aaron Fox isn't supposed to be any sort of hate towards him. Okay, I love De'Aaron Fox. I love this team. This is just what my heart is saying about this team and how I feel about this squad. But the second biggest reason as to why I think the Kings have been struggling, at least as of recently, is probably a very obvious one to many people that watch their games, with that being their free throws. The Kings are led by 2 players who dominate both the paint and the mid-range. So naturally, they're a team that gets a ton of free throw attempts, or at least should be knocking down their free throw attempts. And well, last year, that's exactly how it went. Sitting at 5th in the league on free throw attempts per game, while also being 15th in the league in free throw percentage, which might sound bad to some people, but it's actually a pretty good average to have. For sure not the best, but it is pretty good. But that was just last year, right? Let's take a look at how this season is going so far, because surely the Kings would be continuing this push to keep on making their free throws and keep on going to the paint. Your 2023-2024 Sacramento Kings are currently sitting at 20th in free throw attempts average per game, with a whopping league worst 30th in free throw percentage. Yes, the Kings are the worst team in the league at making their free throws, which is unexcusable. And it's very clear the way it's been hurting them. I mean, you know that last game, the Bucks versus Kings game, the Damian Lillard buzzer beater 3 Dame time shot? That shot should have been a tie if De'Aaron Fox could have hit that last free throw. Or last night's game against the Pacers, which, by the way, the Kings only lost by 5 points, but their free throw attempts are abysmal, with them shooting 18 for 32 from the free throw line. 18 for 32 from the free throw line. I mean, it is genuinely mind-blowing how bad this team has been from the line this year. Not to mention, I feel like this team has really started to settle for threes, which is why you're seeing their free throw attempts drop from last year, because De'Aaron Fox isn't driving to the paint like he usually does. He's not using that speed as much as he could because he's starting to develop that 3-point shot. He wants to really settle more for 3 and not drive into the paint like he should. But the third and final reason is something that has actually been going on a lot longer than just this season itself. That being, the defense is absolutely garbage. I understand that everyone wants to pin this onto Harrison Barnes, and you're not really wrong for that, but it's not just him. This is almost the entire team that has put absolutely 0 effort into defense and trying to become a better defensive team, which, like I mentioned earlier, was a problem last year, except the difference was last year the Kings had a historic offensive game, and this year they're nowhere near a historic offense. So if last year they had terrible defense but historic offense and their ceiling was a 3rd seed first round exit, this year them having terrible defense and mid offense, where does that get them? Probably the play-in. Although I will say I think Keon Ellis can take this team to the promised land when it comes to defensive abilities. I'm very happy to see that Mike Brown has given him almost a permanent spot in this sort of rotation now. Shout out to Keon Ellis. He's kind of becoming what a lot of people wanted Davion Mitchell to be, which is a very good defender, but also a pretty good player on offense as well. So yeah, I'm basically losing my mind every single time I watch the Sacramento Kings play. De'Aaron Fox needs to pick it up. They need to start hitting their free throws, and they have to trade Harrison Barnes and get some good defense before this entire team explodes. But after listening to all of my takes, I want to hear what you guys have to say. Comment down below your opinions on this Sacramento Kings roster. Why have they fallen off so hard compared to last year? Let me know. I read and respond to every single person. And yeah, while you're down there, be sure to like and subscribe as well, because it does help out the channel and this video a lot. With that being said, I will see you guys all in the next one. Later.